Hey everyone, it's Kayla here, and today I'm sharing a layout for Scrap Squad, and I'm using this week's weekly Scraplift. Now, for this layout, I have deleted probably over an hour's worth of footage, and that's just because I was filming and messing about trying to find which papers I wanted to use. I cut up tons of paper from the Legendary collection, and I didn't achieve anything or get anywhere. I ended up turning the camera off, and then coming back at a later date, and I was just messing around again with the bits I had out on my desk, and quickly came up with what I wanted to use for this scrap lift. So I switched the camera back on, and now I'm just cutting things down. I'm going to start sticking and committing to embellishments and things. I've decided to use this grey pattern paper, which is the back side of the gorgeous star paper. Now, I've already used this star paper lots for fussy cutting, and really I didn't even want to use the grey side because I thought I can sorry, I've got to clear my throat. I thought I could get tons more embellishments by using this paper for fussy cutting, making this collection then stretch so much further. But I really needed that pop of grey. It was the kind of the colour that I was missing on this layout, and I think that's why I was having issues trying to decide what papers I wanted to use. So I'm just cutting down the square pieces now. I have already committed and stuck down the pattern paper that I've put across half of the page. I have flipped mine, so my pattern paper's on the bottom rather than the top, like it is on the original layout. Which you might see the original layout floating around on my desk somewhere. Because I decided as well that when I'm doing these videos for Scrap Squad, it'd be really good if I could have a copy of the scrap lift that we're using on my desk, so I can bring it in the video if I need to. But as well, because I keep all the pictures and things on my phone and I use my phone for filming, I can't refer back to it then once I've started filming. So this does make it a lot easier whilst I'm scrapping. So I've got a copy of the original layout to refer back to. So you will start seeing those in my Scrap Squad videos. I've committed to this gorgeous star tone on tone pattern paper. And I've also picked the photo that I'm going to be using, which is a slightly older photo. It's one of TJ a couple of years ago on his bike, and he was just playing out on his bike, and I'd stopped him to take a photo of him. And I know it's from quite a few years ago because he's now got a new bike, which is a lot bigger. He outgrew the bike in the photo quite quickly. So we ended up having to get him a bigger bike, and we got him one that it's a BMX, so he can do his stunts and and things on it, and he's got a ramp and things like that, because he is quite a daredevil when it comes to things like that. So I'm just sticking down another piece of this arrow paper. I felt that the arrows were perfect for this photo because to me arrows mean direction and going somewhere, and obviously because he's on his bike in the photo, I thought that worked really well. And then I made a bit of a mistake, and because I'd stuck everything down and I needed to actually tuck a few things in, so I do end up having to peel some bits back up, but luckily I don't cause any damage and I don't tear the paper, and I can tuck those in nicely there. And then there's also a star die cut that I want to stick up at the top as well. I do try tucking it behind the photo at first, but it's like, no, I didn't want that. I wanted it behind the paper layers. So I attached that with some wet glue. and tuck it in at the top. I'm actually really getting through this collection. I've still tons of it left, and obviously because I'm fussy cutting lots of things as well, it's making it go quite a lot further. But I've really used quite a lot of the clear stickers. I could possibly do with getting another pack of those, and I actually bought them and I thought I'd probably not use them that much, but I've actually used tons of them. And the flare as well, I think I've only got 2 of the flare left, and I used one on this page as well. So I've just cut in half one of the little label pieces. I did plan on having some little pops of black at either side of this like central cluster. But the bottom one on the right side, I end up covering it up anyway. So it's kind of wasted there, but I didn't really want to be pulling it all back out. So I'm just trying a couple of the embellishments that I pulled out and I thought I'd be wanting to use. And deciding properly which ones I do want to use now everything's cut down and stuck down. I am going to use this Dude die cut for my title. I always call TJ Dude, and it's just become like his little nickname, even though TJ is technically his nickname as well. But we always call him Dude. He is a little dude, and he definitely thinks he's very cool, which, you know, to us he's very cool. So I'm just pulling in now and just checking a few other bits and pieces that I had pulled out on my desk. And as usual, my desk is a mess whilst I'm scrapbooking. I try my best. I said to myself every time, we're going to keep everything organised, keep everything tidy, put my rubbish straight in the bin, and once I get into the flow of it, it just doesn't happen. And I'm sure there's lots of us that, you know, it's the same for you guys too. But yeah, my desk always ends up trashed, and before I can create again, I've got to clear everything up and start again. Unless I'm using the same collection again, then I will just kind of leave the mess and carry on. I've tucked a little a ticket piece, even though a ticket has nothing to do with the story of this page. I just like the colour of it, and I do quite like putting tickets on my layouts, even though, you know, like I said, there's no tickets in the story at all, and I just like the look of them. I'm going to stick some things down with foam and some things down with tape. In the original layout, they've got like a cut apart card. I didn't have any of cut aparts the right size because I've got all 12x12 papers. Maybe if I had the 6x8 paper pad, I possibly could have cut one from there, but I decided just to go with the grey pattern paper and put an embellishment on top instead. What am I doing now? I'm popping this little word banner up on foam, and I'm just committing to these little stars here. And they're from the die cut pack. I haven't fussy cut those. But I know I do off camera at the end, before I take my photos, I do fussy cut some stars from pattern paper just to add a few different pops of colour around the page, and you'll see that in my close-ups at the end. I'm just I'm just having a look now to see if I want to add some of these little phrase stickers. I do go for one. And I did stick down this flare. I always re-add my own foam on the back of these, and I'd put 2 little foam squares behind, but because it's slightly on different levels, it needed some extra foam on there just to keep it in place. These are the clear stickers. I'm just seeing if there's anything on here that I want to add in, and I do pull in one of the arrows, which again matches the page perfectly. And that's the layout more or less finished. Like I said, off camera I do add some fussy cut stars and some enamel dots, which you'll see in the close-ups now. Please come and check out the Scrap Squad Facebook group and join us in this week's Scraplift. Thank you. Bye.